Thank you, French, but shalom. Be kind to strangers, be welcoming, be inviting. Metzora, lepers. We were introduced to this topic last week. And this week we have an entire Parsha section devoted to leprosy, followed by a section on bodily discharges. Not what most people associate the Bible with, but don't forget, friends, this is Leviticus, the book of instruction. And when we talk about leprosy, we aren't talking about leprosy as we know it. We're talking about a poor translation for what was really skin blanching or loss of pigmentation. And we're not talking about healing. The healing has been done. We're talking about purification and reintegration. And so it's the realm of the priest, not the physician. Sing it out loud, sing it in your name, sing it like you're proud. Sing the healing game. What's fascinating is the ritual and how it requires what the Torah calls living water. Mayim Chaim. We don't really know what this means, but we guess it means fresh water. Water that flows from a natural source as opposed to stagnant or stored water. And friends, this takes us back to the water of creation, the flowing waters above and the flowing waters below, and the energy of life contained therein. And when the sacrifice is made, the priest puts blood from the sacrifice on the person's right toe, right earlobe, and right thumb. This is the same as the ceremony for ordaining Aaron and his sons as priests. In both instances, we're looking at a transition. With Aaron and his sons, it was from secular to holy, and here it is from impure to pure. And it's not just the blood that is used, but oil as well. And so the two purgative substances which dominate the purification rites belong to the animal and vegetable kingdoms. Blood, the life force of the animal world, and oil, the substance of anointing, the sacred, the consecrating fluid, put together to purify. And friends, it's not just the body we're talking about, but the house. These rituals of purgation are linked. And so the priest may have to heal the house as well. As the Moody Blues saying, isn't life strange? A turn of the page, a book without light, unless with love we write. And in all the work the priest does to bring about this purification, the emphasis now points to a term hardly used before, but which will take on the dominant aspect, not just of this Parsha, but of the religion. And the priest shall make atonement over him in front of the Lord. The shift to atonement is immediate, and so many of the sacrifices from here on refer to atonement. The balance of the Parsha from Leviticus 15:1 on is no longer concerned with leprosy, but now with the impurity of emissions, and all the sacrifices are about atonement. Emissions contaminate, and so they make beds or chairs impure, whether by male or female. And friends, it is instant. The nature of impurity is instant. It's not medical. It's ritual impurity. It is not just a contagion. It is contamination. It is instant, and it is entire. Impurity spreads throughout a person or object, and it's not by creatures like bacteria. It is simply pervasive. It is true, my friends, that as you read this, you see that this book was written by priests to protect the realm and domain of the priest. Monotheism removes the concept of demonic threat, but opposing forces of life and death show us purity and impurity, and as moral consequences of our actions. But what makes impurity today is even greater. Now impurity includes all the things that people say in addition to what they do. We used to spend our days surviving, and now while we still do, we also have enough time to pollute and destroy and infect each other as well as the earth. We continue to contaminate, more so with the things we say than anything else. Perhaps we have to learn to sometimes hit the mute button, dude. The rituals all involve atonement now, because we have so much more to atone for. We're coming up on the twin festivals of freedom in the next few weeks. This was the most important holy time in the Torah, and we have to learn to re-embrace it. When we are free, there is so much less to atone for. Don't read about a time of freedom. Tell about a time of freedom. Live a time of freedom. Everyone has choice when to and not to raise their voices. It's you that decides. Thank you, George. You will always be missed. Shabbat Shalom.